but we're going to start with G2 on defense. Let's see what we're going to have going down in the pistol round, Matrym.
Yeah, looking back historically, we don't have a lot to really compare the two between. Really, it is just the Vitality European Open that we looked at, where nolpenki didn't really make it through the qualifiers, and then we have G2 on the other side of that, walking away with a solid victory in the qualifiers. So you can see a little bit of utility being drawn out in the pistol round, drawing a little bit more space. It's going to be David P. Back over towards what's going on. Looks like on the attacking side, got a little bit of an eye back over towards B right now, as it's really just Cypher that was making the play back over towards A, but now going for the reposition, as it looks like the push is going to be coming out on the B side.
Yeah, a little bit of a stack over here. Spike is over in Garage, but you see now G2 have actually pulled a rotation over towards A. They got 3 over towards A site here, and actually here you go. Pith's going to get contact over on B, and that's going to call all of these players back. He's going to catch a headshot on one, but Loudly will trade it out with the Ghost. Now the 22 HP on Boo, though. He's got to fall back. The Garage entrance. Boombot's going to go down, and actually he's going to find a headshot on David through the dark cover. Maybe just a little
nice
bit.
play coming up from Boo there.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit of a shoulder thrown there, but you see now, probably going to give this up in a 2v5, maybe just go for exits here, but yeah, Vac actually going to push through and find Pat and Spawn.
Oh, Mixwell looks like he wants it. He knows he's surrounded in a negative position. Steps forward, gets the headshot onto one of them. Looking back up, he knows back around the heaven location, goes for the peek back over, onto it, connects yet again. And this is why we were talking about Mixwell is the guy to watch right now. We do see that it is going to be nolpenki that walks away with the round, but Mixwell makes a statement.
Yeah, unfortunately just catching a little wall bang there. Actually landed the headshot with the wall bang, so again, that's what we want to see out of Mixwell. We want to see him going in. There's a bit of an early rotation there, I'm not gonna lie. It pulled Mixwell all the way through defensive spawn. Pith was kind of left to hold the line over on B site. And there's just unfortunate timing there, but yeah, nolpenki, and I wonder how many times I'm gonna say that team name wrong throughout this best of 3, Matt.
Oh, it's so easy to say back over there. We've had the opportunity to cast Vac quite a few times in the past, so we knew it has the capability to step up whenever it matters. Right now, it's all about passive. Look at him going through, stepping right through. You can see the Omen smoke going down. Pops into playing back around it. Trying to buy a little bit more time and space, as it looks like we're getting caught up around this A position. A little bit of a fight, trying to buy a little bit more time. Gotta be very careful about that.
Yeah, the dark cover here should hold him away outside A main. Mixwell with his signature shorty in hand. It's either a shorty or a judge recently with Mixwell. But obviously he's known for his operator usage as well. Got Vac now looking for a way through Mail, and nobody actually holding down heaven right now. You can see David and Pith all the way over at Garage entrance. Boo's actually going to find Pat over on A site.
This is going to draw a lot of attention potentially as well. As you can see, a firm defense now stepping up to the side of it. Pith goes with shotgun up and close in range, gets one, but doesn't get the second one. Now the reposition's coming out from nolpenki, but is it going to be enough as they're starting to move back over towards the side of it? Strand's looking back over point, trying to figure out exactly what's going on. Mixwell's up towards the top. Looks like going for a slow reposition along those ropes, going for a touch of a creep around. See, String playing back around the side of it, but it's going to be Boo again, showing up for his team. Just popping heads all over the place, buying a lot more space for nolpenki to work with.
And at that, yeah, Mixwell maybe just going to look for an exit or two. You see the blast pack going to come down. He's going to go and challenge Boo at bottom mid, but Boo will pick up his third on the round. Again, Mixwell not able to do any further damage to the economy. Maybe first 2 rounds going over to nolpenki, but we know here, round 3, G2 going to be able to buy up here, so see if they try and mix anything up or try and hold this one. Again, G2 known for getting quite aggressive on the defensive side. They like these defensive executes, or they'll try and get some territory on the enemy team. You can see there's actually Ardis and David stacked over towards Mail right now, and Mixwell in rope, so you see actually Boo looks like he's trying to make a paranoia play through ramps here, and you got a couple of stacked over in A main, so this might be a fast push over to A.
Seeing nolpenki make a lot of use out of Omen, specifically to draw attention off other directions. Mixwell's got himself an easy lineup onto that one. Pops another head off of it, trying to get up defense on the other side, keeping what's going on around the A location. Stepping back over towards the spawn, just taking a couple of sprays back into the smoke, make sure nobody makes a step up and forward to it, but it's still going to be Boo holding down off the side of this, going back over towards mid, trying to buy a little bit more space for his team to work with.
And Boo Just breaking the edge of David's wall there. David's backed all the way up into ropes. He's actually playing left side behind the pipe, and Artis has taken up Mayo because you can see Pith has made it all the way through garage, and he's going to get all this information. He's going to get 2 free kills from behind here. GP, he's actually going to find both of them, Loudly and Boo, all in mid. That just leaves 2 players over towards A. You can see now the push coming up ramp. Cho's going to get found, but Destrian now underneath Heaven. He's got a massive task to even get a kill from this angle.
Got to be very careful up on the top of a push coming through. Does manage to connect with it. Gonna be David P connecting with the shot. So that's gonna be defenders picking up a round, and G2 finally makes it onto the board, getting themselves a round victory.
And see, that's what I love about G2. Again, that's on their buy round there. Pith taking the option to push all the way through garage. As soon as they get some presence and contact on the stairs in mid, Pith pushes all the way through there, and Ardis and David just have to buy time at that point. Don't peek, wait for the flank to come out from Pith, and you can see, and just shutting down those 2 players for free in mid. And yeah, we're going to see obviously a force up come out on the side of nolpenki. And I mean, this is the interesting one here, where again, this could really, you know, change the outcome of the next few rounds here, depending on how this one goes. We do have a technical pause coming through. Just going to be a little hold up here, guys. Apologies.
Just got to make sure everything's set and ready to go moving into the rounds. Always good to get them in the earlier sections to make sure everything is nice and comfortable based off the way it looks. So, I know a lot of people were coming in with super high expectations of G2 to just run away with this one, but nolpenki coming out and taking the 2 first rounds, I think comes as a touch of a surprise to a lot of the viewers right now. I think it's predominantly just based on very solid baits and repositions coming in to draw a lot of attention onto one site and then just move back towards the other.
I mean, it's always the tall order to pick up the pistol round on attack on split, but again, a good stack from them. Really nice collapse onto B side, but again, it was all on the back of that Mixwell rotation through defensive spawn. And again, I'm not sure the information that came through from mid, but the timing on it was just really, really unfortunate. See now, obviously the game unpaused, and we're getting this back underway now for round 4. It looks like David and Ardis again looking for his mid presence. Dark cover goes down. It's going to cut off the sight lines for them. Boombot going to go down mid. That's going to give Ardis the information. Follows it up with the paint shells. And Pith again looking to get aggressive through garage.
Going for a touch of a peek off to the side. Doesn't feel like he wants that one too much. Goes for the shots, repositions away from it. Ardis is still holding down point right now, dancing around Sage while going to spot out one, steps away from it, trying to get a little bit of a play, but has reinforcements off to the side. Mitch is going totally back over towards G2's favor, and now it's all into Loudly off the other side of this thing, and maybe he can pick up a couple, but it's not going to come up. And there we go, makes it up tied 2-2 with G2 winning the round.
But again, just not scared to collapse on mid, and especially on their buy rounds there. They got to assume, obviously, nolpenki are going to be kitted out with a couple of weapons, but again, just that collapse there. Ardis with the opening, Mixwell there with the counter peek, and Ardis actually finds his the third kill of that engagement, and the round just gets shut down before it starts.
At this point, we haven't seen a lot of aggression really coming back out towards the A side. Last couple of rounds have really been decided by what's been going on back over towards mid or B pushes whenever we're looking back on what nolpenki's trying to bring into this. A lot of, I guess, peaks right around the corner whenever we look back over towards the B site seems to be the style of approach that we're seeing nolpenki go with. But now that we're starting to see economy equal out just a touch, well, I say that, you can look back over onto it, and it looks like a lot of this is starting to go economy problems back over for nolpenki, taking those couple losses into a row.
Yeah, it's always difficult, obviously, losing that third one. Again, the losing team usually on a bit of a broken buy. I think we actually saw 4 weapons go, well, 4 ARs, I should say, and then the Sheriff on Loudly. I think he was just forced up on Light Armor. You can see a couple of stingers pop up here. Maybe double thinking that one. We do have another technical pause, guys, as you can see up on the screen. Apologies for that. Shout out to the observers for giving us a little cinematic flyover.
Always good to see the lay of the land and how everybody is going to be approaching inside this map. We'll see most of the players kind of dancing around, so I always like to try to get a bead back in to see which ones aren't moving, because those are usually the ones chatting, trying to explain what's going on for the technical pause at the time. Now then, so managed to move back up 2-2. G2 having more control, especially with their weapons loadout. As you can see, a couple of big boy guns now coming into play. It is all going to be on nolpenki to try to make this work at a massive disadvantage moving into this. You can see that they're being much more hesitant, making their approach back over towards this B. They've got Raze with them. They've got Sage back over onto the angle with it. But not as much of a skirmish back over towards mid yet, as Boo's trying to get a look back over onto that angle, but doesn't want to make the approach just quite yet. Artist, though, now starting to step back around on the angle, connects onto one of them, so that's going to shut down Boo, who's been a massive performer for nolpenki so far.
And now I think they're just going to cut their losses, head over towards A, maybe try and work an entry here. Pat's all alone over in screens, but again, he's got the Phantom, so I doubt these pistols really going to be able to do too much damage. David now going to swing on ramp, and he's going to get a lot of information here. The audio cue's already going over. Showstopper actually gets popped. It doesn't find anything. David's actually going to push through the cloud burst here. And he might actually get a lineup for a couple of kills here. He misses on the first, and actually Destrian turns around, finds him with a Sheriff.
Now, we're going to be a little bit of a follow-up. As you can see, the rest of reinforcements are coming through, but they're coming through at the wrong times. Jet goes airborne, trying to go for a play up and above. Does connect with a little bit of damage onto him, gets a couple of kills. It's going to be Mixwell coming up back behind it. And now it's just a matter of getting rid of that spike, and that's going to be another round going back over towards G2.
Again, unfortunately, they had to, I think, Artist invested the Showstopper. Obviously, Mixwell popped the Blade Storm. So, unfortunately, they couldn't keep those ultimates on the table. It was just an eco for nolpenki, but again, a round win is a round win in my eyes. We are going to see Mixwell now with the operator in hand, so expecting to see G2 hit their full stride now.
At this point, you can see it's a little bit of a limited buy. We've seen a couple of ARs starting to come out from nolpenki's side on it. Big performer inside of Boo getting shut down early. I'm curious to see if they're still going to have him trying to go for those, I guess, independent plays. He seems to be on the hunt for 1v1s back over towards mid, but every single time he goes for it, there's a couple of members from G2 set and ready to take him down.
Yeah, Pitts actually put a very deep spy cam there. They are going to spot it, but he's going to get the information over. I think nolpenki actually baited that a little bit. I think only one person swiped for it. Bladestorm's going to get popped. Vac going to go straight in. Find Pith over on side. David's there for the trade, but see if they can recover from this one. Artist will find Boo loudly. With the paint shells, we'll find Mixwell, and there you go. Artist will find another two. Cho on the late lurk through mid. And Spike is down in hell. Really nice hold from G2 there after losing Pith on site to the Bladestorm.
It's like Cho's trying to go for a little bit more, but not going to get it. Artist goes ahead and shuts him down. Defenders pick up another one, moving us into a 4-2 position. At this point, I'm going to have to say, I'm starting to worry about the economy coming up from nolpenki, as they keep trying to buy as they can, but they don't have a lot of options, especially these early rounds. Every single time they do at least pick up a couple of ARs, they're very quickly torn apart and don't pick up much money to work with in the next round.
Like I said previously, now expected in G2 to play around this operator usage a bit more. And, I mean, hopefully G2 don't start swinging around together. There's going to be another heavy sack over towards Garage. Pith not going to find anything with that peak, but he's going to fall all the way back. Vac's going to walk out into the open there and fall. So it looks like they're going to try and force the issue on B.
Doing a good job. You can see Dave back behind this, throwing out a little bit of utility. Got the slowdown, got the wall down, trying to get a little bit more time and space for the rest of his team to reconfigure. Looks like on the other side of this, nolpenki's trying to figure out if they want to continue on this push or maybe just try to draw more attention. So it looks like they're dancing around, just taking shots at the wall to maybe go back off of it. But you can see now G2 has all the information to work with. That's going to be a Cypher ultimate coming into play. It'd be an Artist still holding down the line. It looks like the peak's going to come through, and that's a quick double tap coming up for him. Mixwell's on the other side of it, picks up one for himself, and there is nowhere for nolpenki to go.
Yeah, fantastic angle there from Artist, and again, Mixwell holding down the fort in Mail with the operator and David P to clean up afterwards. Again, really, really nice hold. Again, this angle is just dirty from Artist.
Operator gets some work coming out there. No approach back over towards B site seems to be working for nolpenki right now. See if maybe they try some other approaches. A lot of stacks look like they're looking back over towards mid, hoping that the draw might have drawn enough attention back over towards B to buy some space onto it. Players back over on A for G2 have been very comfortable for a while now, just having to be chasing back over. See a little bit of a peek back and forth, but David P's got it on lockdown, trying to get a little bit more time and space, throwing down the slow orb to work with.
Yeah, nolpenki happy to kind of come and challenge mid repeatedly here. Again, I don't think they're getting an awful lot of value off doing this. The dark cover is actually going to cover Vac moving up there. He's only got a sting at Artist. Yeah, I was going to say Artist still in ropes here, so they've definitely got the crossfire set up effectively. Showstopper going to get invested here, but Boo's actually going to shut him down with the Sheriff before he gets out.
That is pivotal right there. That's finally opening up mid for a little bit of room. nolpenki might try to get something to work with, but it's going to be Mixwell holding the angle. It's going to be David P off the other side. Sure, you might have won the battle for mid, but you're not going to win the war.
Yeah, just two really nice peaks from Mixwell there, coming to back up Artist after he falls. Again, just the way these guys play off each other, and again, it's aggressive to kind of take these peaks out. And, you know, Mixwell finds 2 kills, and obviously he's got David there to back him up again. But G2 just so good for these holds right now.
It's just clinical at this point. You saw a couple of rounds go over early to nolpenki, but since then, it has just been dominance coming out from G2. Couple of nolpenki kills coming in. Think they get the opening, but it's just a quick G2 response. Artist is feeling it, steps up, goes for the spray, does manage to get one, gets a little bit of damage onto the second one. Looks like Batatech might be going for a follow-up onto this, but you can see nolpenki very quickly says, all right, we got to play this a little bit slower.
And this is the thing here, if nolpenki can't come up with an answer to this early round aggression from G2, I feel like they might run away with this defensive half here. Mixwell coming to back up ramp. Actually, the revive going to come out. Oh, he actually just misses as soon as he goes. And misses the second as well. Sorry, it's Pat. My mistake. No, it's not Pat. Sorry, it is actually Mixwell. Sorry, the overlay catching me off guard a little bit there. But nolpenki actually going to get down. They're going to get side control, but Spike still held up over towards A main. Now you're going to see him cross over now. So there is the lurk coming out from the other side. I think Loudly make it all the way through the defensive spawn, but Vac going to find Mixwell. That should be this round in the bag for nolpenki.
Yeah, they've got every single thing covered down. The only one that's up for G2 is going to be David, who has no desire to throw away his rifle right now. So going to play this one nice and slow. Is sitting on Resurrect right now, but not opting to go for it. So I like the fact that making sure to hold on to everything. No point in trying to win a lost cause at this point. You can go ahead and toss over a little bit of money back on the other side of it. Got to be careful off to the side. Does get spotted out. So that is going to firmly give it back over to nolpenki. So now they've got a little bit more tools to work with.
Yeah, again, not going to do too much damage to G2's economy, but I guess David just opting to look for some exit frags there. Again, it's more damaging if David finds one than I guess him dying there, but
David is sitting on so much money right now. I mean, it's going to take so much for nolpenki to just do any damage back over towards him. You can see finishes out his buy and still sitting on 4,000 back, or 4,600 back behind that. Pith doing well. Let's see how we're going to see the approaches. It looks like it might be another mid push coming out from nolpenki.
Do you actually get the TP through? Actually, Pat TPing all the way into attacker spawn outside garage on B, so he gets the information that Loudly set up there. Hasn't pulled out the rotation yet. Artist going to go for another peek in mid. He's going to find Vac and Destry, and David's there. Loses the 1v1 to Boo, though. Artist will win out on that one with the paint shells and find his third. Showstopper gets invested. Only does half damage to him, though. But there you go. I'll find it anyway. That's a 4-piece for Artist. He is playing absolutely out of his mind right now. Insane stuff.
We kept talking about Mixwell moving into this one, but Artist is making sure to make a statement for himself as well. No fear in his eyes as he's going for every single peek around these corners. You can see everybody on G2 starting to condense back down around the lone Cypher, trying to go for a peek around the corner. Does see the gun. Quick shot back off the side of it, and that's going to pick this one up.
There's the ace from Artist there. Absolutely loved it. I love how his team backed up there. They just backed up. They're like, get the fifth. Go for it. Go for it.
It's yours. You deserve it, Artist. Sitting at 17-5. Artist, come on. Give him a chance at this point. On the other side of it, you can see Boo sitting on 6 and 7, but that's the most that we can see nolpenki having anything to work with.
Yeah, really good stuff. Again, this aggression down mid is just insane. It's unfortunate David loses out on that one. He's having a bit of a rough start to today. Obviously, he had an absolutely fantastic showing in the Vitality Open, but Artist absolutely stepping up right now. Just, again, just insane ace to just charge down mid like that and find 4 kills.
Well, that's what you want out of a team like G2. Let everybody step up and have a chance to just frag out of their minds, perform for their teams. You don't need to rely on just one solo member to carry you into victory. No matter how it goes down, you have multiple options to get you there, giving you way more win conditions to move through this. Again, it's going to be nolpenki going back over for mid-push onto it. David P seems to be stepping back away from this one, trying to make sure that nothing big is going to happen with it. But Artis is the eye that I've got looking right now. Boo's trying to go for a little bit of peek off to the side of it. Not a lot of options, as they have to know that this is going to be how Artis goes for it. Steps up into the smokes, trying to go for a little bit of a play. Looks like they might have a read based off of his positioning, but don't spot him out just quite yet. Artis has a ton of people in front of him, picks up one, goes for a spray back over towards another one, does manage to pick up a second. So now David P, still playing off to the side of this, has to choose if he's going to react off of it. He knows that mid might be the point where it's going to be pushing from. How is he going to make a play off of this, and how is G2 going to react?
Yeah, unfortunate there. Obviously, Vac trying to swing on Mayo. Actually, McBride going to find Destrian up in heaven here. They're going to drop down to sight. McBride might actually have the timing on this to catch the second one. He misses. Cho will find him with the Vandal headshot. And that will give him sight control right now. So, in a 2v3 situation, going to get the spike down safe in corner. And Pat, actually, a neural theft's going to get popped as well. So, information going to go over to nolpenki. And you can see, actually, Cho looking to get a little bit aggressive inside screens. He's going to find one. He's whiffed on the second. David coming out on top of that one. He nearly had him, though, down to the HP. Going to invest to revive as well.
Oh, tries to get more out of it, but not going to happen. Loudly goes down. And now it's just going to be the removal of the spike, pushing us up into 8 versus 3. I know that we were expecting G2 to come away with this with a commanding lead, but it looks like it's starting to be very difficult for nolpenki to figure out what to do to overcome what's happening. We keep seeing a mid-push coming out from them, hypoc. Do you think the fact that maybe it's about time to try some form of adjustment, just leave that place alone and maybe go for a step back over towards A? It looks like that might be what they're contemplating as well.
Well, I mean, just, again, that scenario that played out there, Vac taking that peek onto Mail. You had 2 teammates with him that weren't holding the angle into ropes there. So, I mean, if you're going to commit to doing it again, especially with the investment of the operator, you have to have that angle covered off. It's kind of sloppy to allow Vac to die for free there, and again, eventually it comes through. But Artis finds 2 before going down. I think if they're going to keep investing in this, it needs to be done a little better. Bladestorm actually gets popped after Pat will fall. Loudly will find David elsewhere. See Spike now going to make its way towards A site, and nolpenki do have site control again. McBride will find Loudly at the bottom of mid. So not over just yet for G2, but they are in a 2v4 situation now.
G2 came into this running 2 different operators, wanting to go and keep them at range. So now have a couple of tools to go for the retake on it as the spike is planted. Cho holding the angle. Not going to let McBride get away with that one. Try to go for a reposition, but on the other side of it, it's going to be Pith. Knows exactly where the Cypher's hiding at. Goes for a spray onto it, but it's not going to matter as Cho steps up yet again. And there we go. nolpenki showing signs of life, moving this into an 8-4.
Yeah, and that's going to be, that's a good defensive half. Again, you got to consider that's a good attacking half for nolpenki as well. A good showing so far from nolpenki. G2, look a little bumpy in some rounds, and that's on the back of, I'm not saying David's necessarily having a bad time, but certainly today we're not seeing him win as many 1v1s as we did in the Vitality Open. Hopefully can shake that off. First game of the day.
I got to warm up a little bit, right? Kind of move into everything as we progress through it. Loudly still holding back along heaven, looking back down to see if anybody's going to be coming through a long position back over towards A. Meanwhile, it looks like mid has kind of got a little bit of an opportunity for it if that's how nolpenki opts into playing. We've seen them very regularly pushing along this angle, but it's going to be McBride that's kind of holding this up. McBride looking back over, trying to figure out how he wants to go for the play onto this. And it looks like it's going to be an easy walk-up right over into heaven coming out from G2. Options galore in front of them, but it's going to be Destron that's trying to hold this one out. Throwing down a little bit of a slow warp, seeing if maybe can buy a little bit of space.
Oh, I like that. Actually, the wall there, denying any movement onto rafters and forcing them down to hell. But Destron is actually going to find 2 kills from that position. Pith will finally trade it out, but Cho trades that one out. And Vac now finds McBride. And actually, that's the pistol round gone over to nolpenki. I actually really like the usage of the Sage Wall there to kind of channel them down into hell and give Destrian a spot to play out of on rafters. That's actually the first time I've seen a utility used like that.
Yeah, I like the way that we're seeing the play come out from them, moving us back over into the 8-5, but it's going to be nolpenki just stepped up inside that last round. It feels like the earlier rounds, whenever economy is kind of neutralized, that's whenever we start seeing nolpenki be able to step up and get a lot of work done. So how much more can they capitalize off of this right now? They know the fact that they have the opportunity to inflict more damage back over towards G2, but G2 looks like they're making eye back over towards A right now. Well, let's see how their push comes out through this. It's going to be Vac that's holding back on the line.
That's the artist going to try and send a paint shell up towards Destrian. He's going to have to fall back. Vac now with a stinger. Could get himself a couple of freebies here with these guys pushing up ramps. The slow pushing. They're actually going to peek it one by one. Vac's going to find two there. And tailwind away. Puts down the cloudburst just to carve the sight lines. There you go. Loudly's actually going to find that one with the Spectre. Mixwell not able to get a shorty going in the second round of their attack so far. Artist now, I guess, just going to look for a trashy little kill in ropes here. Maybe just try and damage the economy a little bit.
I mean, he has the capability to sneak back up around ropes and maybe go for a play onto it, but you can see nolpenki have the idea on what's going on. They have the feed for it. Stepping up, tries to make the run into it, but not going to be able to get it. David goes down at the exact same time. That's going to be another round going back over towards nolpenki.
Again, can write that one off a little bit. I don't think G2 invested too much this time around. We did see them obviously buy back into the round 2 loss in the previous series, but you see Vac now, because of the Stinger purchase, he's able to upgrade to an operator now. Only one in the light armor, but again, doesn't matter too much on the operator user. You see a heavy stack from G2 over towards A, so we might see them explode out here for a really quick execute.
Goes for lean in. You can hear the shots. You can hear the footsteps coming through. Sees a couple of utility pieces being thrown out. Hits onto one of them, but instantly gets dropped in return. Quick follow through is going to be nolpenki stepping up along the sidelines. That should open up the operator that he had in his hands as a chance for them to pick up. Who's still playing up around heaven. Got a little bit of reinforcements. No big rush coming in just yet as the spike does get planted. Joe's getting a feel for how this is going to be moving forward as he's stepping forward, but it's going to be Patatek that manages to pick up one. Nice little hold off the side of it. Goes for a spray onto the other one. Doesn't connect, but does get a little bit of damage off onto it. Joe still playing around the backside of this, and it looks like the retake is trying to come through, but it's very difficult to find the angles.
Let's see. Again, managing to get the spike down is impressive enough here. Cho actually going to try and find something coming out of screens. Bo just going to march his way onto site there. David's going to find two, and actually going to find the third. There you go. David getting some momentum now. He's going to get the operator as well. Managed to save that as well. Good stuff from G2 there. Again, big round for David. Maybe to get things rolling for him.
Looks like the aggression's moving back over towards A on the G2 side. Getting into a little bit of a, I guess, a worrying state right now as it's now in that 9-6 territory. G2 starting to get to a point where they can bring in equipment and tools moving into the rounds. It looks like they might be contemplating going for a little bit of a dance around mid. Given how much we saw nolpenki go for the play around this, I'm surprised that they're not sitting more defensive players along this point. Mixwell's already in and got a little bit of line of sight back over, but you do see the slow orb does land, stop them in their tracks for just a second. No real repositions coming up. nolpenki just yet as Mixwell does open up the doors, takes down Loudly, starting to step up and forward. Artis is going to be the guy that's trying to go for the breach up into the point, back along the angle. Going to try to push up along B heaven, looking back down on the side of it's going to be Dustrin looking back up. I don't know if he's got an angle to really work with, but Vax coming around the other side of it, saying maybe he can creep up back behind it, and no, he cannot.
Swinging a bit too wide on stairs there, but G2 is going to take a little reset here. Let's see now down to the 3v2, and they're going to rotate over towards A here. So these guys lurking. You can see Boo down in ropes. He's just waiting for some audio cues, giving the signal, but you can see 3 members of G2 stacked up now. They're going to get site control, take up some post-plant positions here. Mixwell going to post up with the operator. Actually, Pat might find a freebie coming out of that dark cover in heaven, but actually, Boo with the pre-fire with the Spectre nearly catching him there. So he's going to drop down to hell.
Buying a little bit more time for everybody back over towards G2, and it's going to be another Mixwell snipe coming up big. At this point, he is just shutting down any movement up around heaven, and you can see Boo's realized, all right, this isn't going to work. Let's just go ahead and reposition back away from this one. I think he's just going to try to save and get away from anything that G2 is going to bring his way.
Good stuff. Boo going to keep the operator in play. Again, you can see already G2 are onto it. They're going to try and come and hunt, but I don't think there's enough time for them to get all the way through garage and find their way through to B alley, but it's another round going for G2, and that's going to be 10-6. So in a bit of an interesting position now, because I don't think the economy is going to be great for nolpenki, but I don't think they're flat out broke. So could see kind of a part buy and play for a full buy next round. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
That is so dangerous, throwing everything into the last dangerous rounds. Looks like they're trying to figure out how they're going to make something out of this one. This looks like you can see dance back and forth. I do believe that we saw a very nice rifle back over in the hands of Vac, who seems to be the guy that's trying to hold down as much of the mid rotations as he can. We're making a look back over towards the going through, but yes, it is going to be Vac looking back over towards the repositions at mid. He's got Destrin that's next to him, who has been playing back over towards the B site, specifically over towards Heaven, moving in a little bit more of an aggressive position, seeing if maybe they can catch somebody out. Vac goes for the shot back over towards David B, does manage to connect onto it. Who's dancing around the other side of this one, should be able to hear the footsteps going off around him. Loudly's trying to see if maybe he can get something out of this one as well, just to try to stall, get a little bit more time for reinforcements to come in.
And Showstopper actually invested there. Vac's actually going to pop the Blade Storm in response. Finds the headshot onto Artist, but Boo will fall elsewhere. Loudly will find a headshot with the Sheriff, but Mixwell's got his Blade Storm out as well. Pith and Mixwell will storm Loudly on elbow. There you go. Neural Theft getting popped as well, so they know the information. That guy's headed up towards Heaven, but down to a 2v2 situation now. Pith and very, very low HP. 13 HP, actually. And Mixwell does still have the Blade Storm available. He's only got one knife left, but obviously still got his trusty operator in hand. Let's see what G2 can do with his post plant.
The progression coming in. nolpenki tries to drop down off of it. Connects with a little bit, but it's going to be Destrin that does connect back over towards Pith. You can see Mixwell's trying to get something out of this, but does connect with one, somehow managing to get out of that one. Destrin does manage to pick him up. Should be able to get the defuse now, but that's going to be a round picked up. Coming up for the guys. nolpenki getting a little bit more to work with.
Dude, how did he live that long? There was almost a moment there where he spun around on the second. That was actually insane. That would have been absolutely crazy.
I mean, shout out to Destrin for playing on the backside of that, giving him a little bit more space to work with, hitting the shots back on it as well. It's like a little bit firmer of a defense starting to come out as two making their way back over towards A, and only one holding back on next to ropes. Reinforcements coming up around Heaven. Looks like that's where we're going to Cypher and the Sage are going to set up for a defensive play. G2 is trying to find the opening. It looks like they might be opting for a little bit of a bait back over towards B. Meanwhile, making the push directly into mid.
Oh, and Vac again taking the 1v1 with Mixwell mid. This time doesn't come out on top. Destrin going to back all the way up to stairs now, and this is going to give G2 mid control. You can see three of them stacked up now. Artist, Pat actually falling back through Sushi now, but Mixwell and Artist with full control of mid. They're probably going to try and bully their way into Mail here. If Destrin gives anything up, this could be Heaven for free. He does have a teammate backing him up now. They're actually going to opt to push through this. I like this from nolpenki. This is what I was talking about. They need a response to the aggression G2's been showing. The dark cover now going to cover. Cho's going to find David, and that's over in Garage. So could be a big moment here. Vac's actually going to get rezzed in mid. Pat is actually going to get that back, but Boo will find Pat in return. Showstopper invested here. Loudly's not going to find anything off that. Artist is going to swing out, and he's going to lose out on top of that.
nolpenki do win a little bit of the fight that's going on, but you can see the reposition coming back out over towards A. Looks like they're going for a fast plant back alongside of it, and it's going to be Mixwell trying to go for the shots and doubles it up. That stops them dead in their tracks. Nowhere to really go. It's just going to be the Cypher that's going to be coming up back behind this, finding himself in a 2v1 situation. Very disadvantaged as Cho's trying to creep around the side of it. The amount of health that we see down on one of the members might be enough to provide nolpenki a chance to go with something, but it's going to step right into the line of sight. Nowhere to go, and big performance coming up from Mixwell.
That was an absolutely huge round from Mixwell. The collateral in defensive spawn. The timing on that was absolutely perfect.
Well, and now we look at an 11-7 hypoc, and oh my god, that snipe. That's just gutting right there. Doubles it up, picks up the two. Trying to go for the play off the side of it, but I don't know. Mixwell is just stepping it up here in these last couple of rounds to just deny nolpenki anything to work with.
I mean, this is, again, Mixwell now popping the Blade Storm, and this is what we're used to. The immediate updraft and tailwind. He's going to find Loudly on site. Now he's got a player to deal with in hell, but actually 2-for-2 trade here elsewhere. See, Pith pushes all the way through to screens here. Dark covers over. David, please actually going to get Mixwell back on his feet as well. Pith might find Cho here. Ooh. They're playing on the opposite sides of the dark cover. Cho's going to make it through from screens. They're going to have absolutely no idea about this flank.
That is a beautiful flank. Steps up around. You can see Vac now going for a reposition off the side of it. Goes for a shot. Does manage to connect it back over towards the next wall, but it is an exchange, and that's going to be another victory coming up for G2 to push us up into game-winning rounds. So, nolpenki, what do you have left? You've been making this competitive, especially as we're looking towards these later rounds, starting to be a little bit more aggressive as they try to go for something out of it. But G2 is just starting to get on a roll.
Yeah, and I mean, this is worrying now. Obviously, G2 getting onto match point. Not entirely sure of the economy situation. If we can take a quick look at that, observers, just before this round gets underway, but I'm not sure how this one sits for nolpenki, to be honest with you. So we've got a fairly default setup from G2. We'll maybe try and take control of mid this time. Destrian swinging wide on this.
It's been working for him so often. G2 managing to find the angle back, trying to play based off of that. We got a neighbor very close to him right now. Pitt's starting to make the advance back.
Oh no!
A spot out. Boo! Spins back around and picks up back as well. Let's just feed over all of the information. They know how this is going to be playing out. Picks up the third. Pith is just on fire right now. Destrian's trying to put up something on the other side of it. Does manage to pick up two. You can see nolpenki not wanting to go down without a fight. Artist looks like he's going for the reposition off the side back over towards A. Knows the fact that it is open, so has the opportunity to go and set down the spike. Gonna see how are we going to see the stage respond to this positioning? So it looks like Artist is going to have this one for free and up and open. Very quickly, it's going to be Cho just running in, slamming this one down.
There you go. Pith finding his fourth on the round. We'll find it on